We got an Hourhand here.
Fuck your Dutch.
I'm Dutch. That wasn't funny.
Okay, so just to get
Which
it,
makes it funny.
Hi, my name's Dawson Dressler.
My name's Cole.
I'm Gray.
This is another episode of the Sit Down Podcast
with the Hourhand.
With the Hourhand.
with the house ham.
The house ham.
Oh, man, that's a good story of, there's a few stories of just, like, how many times we've came to the gigs or, like, been promoting and then, like, people just, like, have the name wrong. Like, we've gotten house ham, we've gotten our land,
No, it was
our band.
House hand, and then it was house hand, and then it was our ham.
Yeah,
Two separate occasions.
Actually, today in PA, I heard someone misread your name, and they were like, "The Hourhand."
Oh,
Like, whoa!
The guy
Dude,
who announced
we'll
it
take it all.
spicier.
he got it
Identifies
right,
all of them.
but he didn't say the Hourhand. He just said Hourhand
Yeah, that's
out of
fine.
Regina. But that works,
That's
right?
close enough.
Yeah.
Close enough.
There was a time when I was really trying to push like adopting that, where it was just like our hand.
I know you were, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Don't do that."
Or like cutting it
What's
into
the
two
difference?
words, our hand.
It's like the Facebook.
But at the same time, like, just use them all. Like, don't kind of be super specific on one.
Yeah.
Just
Oh.
encompass all of them.
I just want to thank you and welcome everybody who's listening or watching at home here. As you can see, we've got the best band ever out of Regina, Saskatchewan, the Hourhand, have come to Bellevue, Saskatchewan to join us here in the studio,
Yeah.
which is awesome. We were just in Prince Albert. We got to go watch them perform at the street fair, which was Saturday the 17th.
Correct. That's the-
And and then we stole them out of Prince Albert and we brought them back home with us. So thank you guys for coming to our studio here in
It's
Bellevue.
good to actually finally
Yeah,
be
for sure.
here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you guys were in
We've done
Bellevue
this
last
before.
year, you guys haven't come to Funky Moose Records. We just kind of frickin' partied over at the ground area all night long, right? Heck yeah. And a lot has happened since last year's Moose Fest with you guys. Like, you guys have been releasing singles out there, hitting the road, working on new material. I had the privilege of seeing you guys do your show at the Coors Event Center, and then you guys were at the Exchange in Regina the night after. Like, that was a freaking crazy weekend, you guys. And the people watching know this too. Like, every chance I get, I'm coming to see you guys. Like, you guys are one of my favorite bands, like, ever. And hearing and seeing you guys
Eat that,
perform.
Nickelback.
Yeah. It was Nickelback until the Hourhand came around. Till the Hourhand came around. But the new songs you guys got going on in the set are just freaking mint, you guys. Like, how I want to know everything. I want to know, like, the difference in. Let's start with this.
Ask away.
How you guys released Hellbent and more recently Setting Sun, the differences in releasing those two individual tracks. Like, how do they differ? Or did you guys do that release similarly?
I would say our strategy for releasing definitely was a little bit different. Us going out to Hamilton and recording those tracks, that was like a major thing for us. So we really put a lot of time and thought into how we were going to release these songs. Hellbent was one that we wanted to make sure that we released it properly. I can't speak for the whole band, but like for myself, I see that as more of like a straight ahead rock tune where it's more digestible for someone who's trying to be going to be introduced to the band.
Okay.
So when it comes to like getting radio play and stuff like that, we were like, okay, if we promote this the right way, we might be able to get that on radio play. Like, I think the track's only 2:45 in length.
Yeah,
so.
I noticed it's just under 3 minutes.
That
yeah.
one was
Yeah.
kind of like just reestablish what we're kind of about. Like, you know what I mean?
We were kind of introducing ourselves as a new band,
Yeah.
really,
Okay.
because like it's, same with, like, yeah, it was just a new sound from us.
Kind of like an evolution thing
Yeah.
of like, right? Just
There's pre-pandemic Hourhand, post-pandemic Hourhand,
right.
Yeah.
and with Hellbent, we definitely put a lot of time and effort into that release, having the music video and all that, and it worked really well. 10K streams like naturally, so we're really happy with that.
Freaking A.
Got ready
With Setting Sun, like we found that we were getting a little kind of caught up with how we wanted to release
Just humming and
Setting
hawing.
Sun. Yeah, like hemming and hawing. And it ended up being like such a long time before we put it out, so we were kind of just like, fuck it, just put it out, see if it floats, because like, you know, this could be kind of like a control, you know, in regards to testing
for the future.
Yeah, like it'd be like a control. Like if we just like put a song out, how does it do? And that's
Right.
kind of all we did.
What's actually necessary?
Exactly.
Or
Like,
or can you even predict it?
yeah, or like, do we have to be barking up the tree of all these radio trackers? Do we have to be like trying to get them on Spotify playlists? Do we have to like, yes, that'll all come, but does it matter if we do that all right now before we release it, or can we do that as the song's already out?
Right.
So that's kind of what we're trying here.
It's kind of
so
an
right
experiment.
now, Setting Sun has been put out. It's probably reached as far as it'll reach, like naturally, like kind of just on its own. And then from here on out, we're gonna start looking at ways to
hype it up.
to hype it up.
Yeah.
To hype it up, to keep the ball rolling a little bit, because before we built up the snowball and then we pushed it down. Now we're gonna, like, you know, this time we let the snowball go and we're gonna see how it
How
builds.
big it gets.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy.
So that's kind of what we did with Setting Sun and Hellbent, and you know, we've got more songs that we're gonna be.
I also think it
taking
was
out.
just kind of, we didn't want to sit on that one for very much longer,
Yeah.
because it was like we recorded that one over
February
like a year and a half ago probably, so it's like almost, we didn't want it to like become old news.
right.
Right.
Get it out while it's still kind of
It's kind of bridging that gap. Like, we also like, we held on to it for a while, probably a little longer than we should have, but it kind of works as a bridge between what we had for content and what we plan on recording. So
Moving
it's like,
forward, right.
like pretty soon here we're planning on heading back out to do more, which we hope to release in a quicker succession.
Right.
Well, and even like the timeliness of when we released it too. Like we kind of made the decision, okay, let's just release this song, and then we're like, okay, well, we have these shows coming up. Oh, well, that might be really good to help promote these shows, is if we release this song on the Friday when we have the show in Saskatoon.
I mean, and that got like it's kind of the radio stations to actually like
Yeah.
promote the show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Had we not dropped a single, they wouldn't have even said anything.
Yeah.
So like
Probably.
they shouted out the show, and in both Regina and Saskatoon, they both pumped it a bit. So like,
Heck yeah. Ooh,
So you guys
smart.
actually sound smart, but it was kind of like, oops,
We
it
have no
happened.
clue what
kinda.
we're doing.
Yeah.
we're bringing everything
Yeah.
at all times.
But that's how like every band is.
Well, it's like-
That's what I would like to believe.
Yeah.
I mean, what works for one isn't going to work for someone else.
True.
So everyone's kind of making it up.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I don't know. It just seems like that what you did in the past sometimes doesn't work right now.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like the business is always evolving, and now more than ever, it's like you can't use the past process to push through your music. You almost have
Right.
to be more creative in how you're doing it. And when that comes, it's like, okay, well, I like Cole's analogy of like using it as a control of like, okay, if we just put it out there, how does it do? Like, where does it not exceed? Like, maybe it'll get really good plays on Spotify, but it might not get a radio play, or vice versa. So like, okay, so then maybe we should be putting our effort where it's lacking as opposed to where it's naturally, organically getting plays.
Right.
So you're
you're feeding your market, right?
Yeah.
Like, where's it getting the most plays, and that's where your attention's going to go to try and blow that up, right?
No, the other way around.
The opposite way. So
So
you're
if-
going to look at where it isn't.
Yeah,
getting,
if
and
it's
then try and-
naturally doing well on Spotify, then you need to push the radio stations to
Yeah.
to get
Right.
the song.
And also, it's like the radio game. Like, we're not really set up for the radio game, because
yet.
with Hellbent, what we did was we signed up for DMDS. We did everything ourselves. We did our cold calling. We emailed every radio station that fit within like our active rock genre.
Yep.
Zero responses.
Well, I mean, aside from like
aside from
the
hometown,
yeah.
like the Wolf and
what
Rock
arguably wasn't because of all that though. That's
True,
because
exactly. If we didn't do that DMDS stuff, they still probably would have supported us.
Right.
just
right?
like they did with the new single that we did just drop.
Exactly.
Like we didn't go through all that. Effort,
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
they
With
still
Setting
did it
Sun,
anyway.
we didn't do DMDS like we did with Hellbent.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Okay.
you know, that's also saving us how much money in doing all
Interesting.
that.
Right.
And,
Could
and the
you-
time, you know, to email, you know, like almost 100 different radio stations.
Could you explain to like an idiot like myself, like what DMDS is and like
It's
what do you use that for?
I think it's Digital Music Distribution System or Service.
Yep.
It essentially allows you to. It's like, think of it like Facebook, where you can upload your status and it pops up at the top of everybody's feed, and then as more things are added, it gets shuffled down. So essentially,
Twitter.
Yeah, like Twitter. Yeah,
Yep.
I don't use Twitter, so I don't really know.
I don't use Twitter.
But same
neither.
thing with Instagram. You know.
Yeah.
But the thing is everybody and their dogs putting music out wants to be on the radio. So, radio. What's their title at the radio station?
Like program
directors. Yeah, they kind of like. They're on this. They're on this DMDS. It's usually Yangaroo is what most people use.
Yep.
And they're on this and they're browsing and they're like, okay, what's new? What's new? A lot of times they've got radio trackers that are like, hey, this song's coming out, put this on.
Right.
Because those radio trackers understand, you know, when these program directors are planning on adding a new song into rotation.
Right.
And, you know, they kind of like, they become friendly,
Yep.
essentially. This is at least how I understand it. I might be completely wrong. I'm not opposed to the idea that I am just out to lunch on all this, but I've put some time and effort into like talking to Sask Music about this stuff. And,
Right.
And really, it seems like you gotta have someone represent you almost. And you know, via a radio tracker, and we're just really not in that position
Yeah.
to be able to afford that
Right.
right now. So we tried doing it ourselves with Hellbent, and really the money and time that we put into it didn't really get us much. Maybe you know, we should keep trying at it, and it'll
Right.
you know, pay itself off.
We haven't done it enough times to know what's going to pay
like
off.
we're
really.
so new at this. It's everything, you know, that I learned for the first time is what they learned for the first time.
Yeah.
Everything they learned for the first time is what I learned for the first
Right.
time. Like we don't have any outer experience outside the Hourhand.
Yeah.
So it's there's a lot of great people that have helped us along the way. Like you guys, for example. Like
sure.
thank you so much for
Dude.
having us here and like supporting us at every damn show. Like,
Dude, you guys are my favorite band. Like I don't know how else to say that.
Eat that, Nickelback.
Yeah. Fuck you, Nickelback.
but yeah, no. Yeah, we're just we're still low on the ladder. We'll work our way up and we'll start understanding how DMDS actually works. Like I said, I could be out to lunch and I could be looking at this completely wrong.
I also think it's like that's not even a wheelhouse we need to concern ourselves with. We just need to make good songs, and eventually the people will come to us who are that like they understand how that works,
Yeah.
and they'll get us that.
Well,
stuff.
It's like,
it's like the show today. You guys, like when you guys first started playing, my thought in my head was I'm gonna take a look at the crowd when you guys are going up on stage, you know, just take a visual picture of like, you know, is there like 50 people sitting down or whatever, and then I did not want to pay any attention to what was going on behind me because I'm front row and center, baby.
Enjoying that shit.
And then I wanted to take a look after the fact and see like, okay, did they scare anybody away or did they draw them in? And you guys clearly drew some people in.
That's cool.
Like clearly there was at least double from when you started,
Oh, that's cool.
in my opinion. But I'm just focused on what was behind me because there was people that were
Yeah, there are
attracted
people
on
on
the
the side.
sides
Yeah,
too.
like I noticed people on the side like hanging
Yeah.
around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I
Lots
love
lots
how
of the other bands were checking us out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. to see.
Freaking rights. I love
That's
seeing
all
that.
I needed to see. You know.
Well, yeah.
If the musicians know about us, then like that's.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, exactly.
that's a great thing to bring up because I'm not saying I know every musician or in the province or anything like that, but I am as a spectator. Like I try and watch the crowd. I want to, you know, figure out like how does the music jive with the crowd, as well as seeing who's in the crowd. And it's not very often that I recognize other artists in the crowd. But there are specific ones that I see regularly in those crowds. You guys being one of them as well. You know, I've been to shows for the Weapons, the Radiant, that kind of stuff, and you guys are there too. And it's like, oh, what's up, man? Like,
Son of Hand,
you guys are
Buchanan.
playing tonight. How
Yeah, yeah.
like awesome to see you here. That kind of shit, right? So, kudos to you guys for that, and I love that. I
it's
think there should
supporting-
be
it's like-
so much more of that.
I don't know. I find like the music scene in Saskatchewan, like not a lot of people go out. You know, like we're all kind of hermits in this province,
Yeah.
and especially in the music industry where it like really relies on support, like going out and supporting other bands, like traveling up to Saskatoon to go check out a band, you know, even if they're not the biggest band in the world, like means a lot to them.
Yeah.
Right. And it would mean a lot to us when people do it. Right. So, you know, invest what you want to get out of it.
Agreed. Agreed. I'm hopeful to see more of that. Like, I'm not saying I never see that, because I do see it a lot, but it's always like I can recognize who the regular artists out there supporting the other artists and who isn't. Right.
So and that all comes back around. Like, people would be more inclined to support you if you support.
Exactly.
Well, it's like we went to the Son of Hand show, and that night we sold like 10 tickets to the show. Yeah. You know, in Saskatoon. Nice. So
also, I think there's something to be said about like after COVID, the community, like the music community, just in general was kind of fractured.
Yeah.
Like there's so many bands that we were trying to get shows together, and we're like, oh yeah, like would you guys want to play a show? And then like, oh, we haven't practiced in months.
We were like ready out of the gate, like ready to go, because we were just waiting for like a long time to do shows. But then everyone but now like at this point it seems like a lot of them have come back.
Yeah. Well,
and
it took a while.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But that's where like coming out to shows and showing that support. It's like, yeah, like this is what we want people to come and do for us. So like, I mean, we can't expect people to do it for us, but then not show that same love back to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like, it's a two-way street.
Yep.
So again, building that community too. Like, you come see our show, we'll come see your show. Like,
freaking rights.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you guys, and you're proving that. Like, you guys are sitting here right now. Like, that's freaking dope. So.
Can we go back to Hamilton? How did that get together, and how did you get there, and how did that work out?
We kind of just like COVID kind of put everybody to a stop, and then we were just like, oh, well, what can we do right now? So we just kind of like back to the drawing board, just writing songs, just kind of learning things, and then there's like this program or whatever, like mentorship thing where you can just get in touch with different artists, just random artists in the industry, just to like kind of have consults with them, kind of thing.
Like a pay to play type thing.
Okay.
So we're just like, oh, John Harvey was on there. It's like, oh, that's cool. We like Monster Truck. Yeah. We could probably learn something from him. So then we just talked to him, and I don't know, kind of. Yeah, we just talked to him, and then he kind of listened to some of our tunes, gave us some kind of input on that, and then we just kind of left it at that, and then I don't know, like a year
like
later,
2 separate interactions.
Yeah,
we played like the Wolf. We played like a Halloween show for the Wolf in Regina, and then their one of their hosts was just like, because Monster Truck was playing on the radio, and they're like, "You want me to hit up John? I can message him right now."
Yeah.
So then he just did, and then we hit him up the next day, and then sending demos back and forth, and just kept talking.
Oh, that's awesome.
There was like a
shout out to the Wolf.
Evan
Barron.
Evan Barron, man. Because there was this little, I forget what it was. Yeah, but it was like, you know, you pay X amount of money, and they'd kind of mentor you through like songwriting and all this stuff. It was like just for young bands,
right?
And we just saw that John Harvey was on there, and we're just like, we just want to talk to John. Like, that's what we told them. We was like, we understand that you've got like a package for all this, and with that package you get blah blah and blah, but we only want that.
Yeah.
And so we kind of just used it as an introduction. So we paid like, you know, a fraction of the price. We got in front of the person we wanted to get in front of, and we're like, hey, we exist, you know, we're doing this.
Yes.
And that was really it for a long time. And then when we played that Wolf show, Evan got us in touch with them.
And then so
Gray reached out.
Did he remember who you guys were?
Yeah.
He knew who you were, eh?
Yeah, like we were friends on Facebook and stuff, so like.
Yeah.
Okay, how about so when you released Hellbent, can we talk about filming the music video at Waka Bar? Can we talk about that a little bit? Waka Waka.
That's where Pac-Man was invented.
Yeah.
Waka 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 Waka.
I wish I believed you.
My specific question.
You can also spell it backwards. Still Waka.
That's right. It's spelled the same.
No, it is.
I really only have one question about that experience, because I know you guys have had filmed music videos prior to that one. So kind of similar on the differences in the way you released the tracks, the difference of doing a video like Hellbent opposed to the other ones that you guys did. would you say it was like just same old, or?
I definitely think this one was quite a bit different than how we've done it in the past. So what we did in the past was more so like we had a general concept, but we kind of just showed up to where we wanted to record, and then it was just like, oh, this might be a cool idea. Let's shoot this, or this looks like something cool to play in front of. So let's just like set up in front of there, play through the song a couple times, get some tape, and then we'll all chop it all up, put it together, and like all the editing was great, and it was really well done. But there wasn't a lot of thought prior. It was more so just very like, it wasn't super fleshed out.
Right.
But then we worked with Prehistoric Productions for the Hellbent music video, and that one was where like there was an actual like storyboard of like, hey, this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen. There was also actors brought in. We had Kit Langfield, who came in and played the bad guy,
the fight scene,
the main character in the fight scene, and then we had a few other actors.
What was was it Sergio?
Sergio. I think he was the choreographer.
Yes.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, choreographer. Yeah, so like even having a choreographer brought in with actors that know how to like do those fighting scenes, it was much more prepared. It was much more fleshed out.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of leaving that creative side in the hands of people who.
Yeah, we kind of got to sit back.
That's their passion. That's
and let them do their thing.
Yeah, our passion's the music. We've recorded it and everything. We're now leaving it in the hands of the people who know the video aspect of it.
Right.
Letting them go on their own. Like, obviously we had input and we kind of like greenlit the idea, but like we were like, hey, these guys know what they're doing. We can leave them do their thing, and it turned out awesome.
I agree, and thank you for allowing me to have a little This was the
Oh,
shirt
yeah.
I was wearing in that freaking video too, man.
I wanted to give a shout out to Anastas, who did our first two music videos.
Yeah.
So the idea behind those first two, like Speakeasy and Hobo and the Bull, they were performance.
Yes.
Right. Because Anastas is like a videographer for like hip hop music videos.
Okay.
Like that's kind of like really where his ballpark is.
Yep.
You know, he's gone far out of it. Like I think he's doing a music video with Calevra, which is Dylan Dobrescu's band. So if you're ever listening to this, Dylan, you know, down the road, give you a shout out. Yeah, no, Anastas, he was more like, you've seen hip hop videos where the videographer is like in and out, kind of like dancing around with the cameras and stuff.
Right.
That's what Anastas
Like
does. Yeah, handheld.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not planned. It's what he does is he puts you in a scene and you perform, and he chops it up and syncopates it.
Right.
and
He
stuff.
films around you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, he'll do just like, well, same thing with what happened with the Hellbent video, because it's just like how you do video for music videos is you do like each person individually, you do it over multiple times, like you play the same song over and over in different situations. But yeah, with Anastas, it was really all about the after the fact, like the editing and stuff. That's where his specialty was. So it was really fun, because like I really like being a part of like guiding it a little bit, being like, oh hey, I found these mannequins, or I forget who found them, but like we found mannequins in that one room for the Hobo one. We're like, we've got nothing else. Like we're just gonna be performing in front of this white shit. Like let's just throw them in. And Honest was all into it, and we could just fuck around. That's all we did. So it was fun in that aspect. But yeah, the Hellbent stuff was that was more like kind of, there was a set plan.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't really have much.
All you needed to do was show up.
Like,
Pretty
we
much.
just show up and play.
That was the thing. It was left very much in the hands of Prehistoric, and they knocked it out of the park. But it was nice just from like the artist perspective of like, we can kind of just show up, play. We do our performance.
It kind of gave us both sides of it, you know. Like
we truthfully didn't do anything.
No, we didn't.
That was
they
all
took
them.
that in their own hands, and they did a great job.
And to be honest, like as happy as I am with it, I still would like, the next music videos. Like I realize now after experiencing that I really did appreciate, just screwing around and be like, hey, can we do this? Can we do this?
Right.
Can we do this? And just like pitching things at the videographer and just seeing what happens.
Can we play or air the music video in this episode?
No.
The one that was filmed, any one of them?
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
go right ahead.
Can we play Hellbent?
Yeah.
Okay,
can
we're
do it.
gonna
It's on
drop
YouTube.
Hellbent in here for you guys, for those of you who haven't seen it, as well as the link to the video is going to be in the description below, you guys. So check this out.
These guys haven't seen Kit live yet. I've seen him.
Well, I saw him. He was on one song playing mandolin.
No. You didn't see like Kit Langfield's band.
Dude, I saw him with
It's
Bros G.
Yeah,
backing
yeah.
him.
I saw them in Regina,
I've
and
seen that.
apparently that was a bad night for them. It was fucking amazing. They're so good.
Okay, that makes me think of a question because first of all, who said it was a bad night for them?
Kit.
Okay, so exactly, because I've seen.
I know
you
where you're
gu-
going with this.
I've seen you
I know
guys
exactly what he's gonna say.
play a lot and like
Skip to this timestamp to get past this.
like and how amazed I was with your guys' performance, and then after the fact, I'm like, how was it for you guys? And you guys are like, that fucking sucks, man. I'm like, dude, it was wild. Like the crowd loved it, man. Like, what's up? So my question is, why is it that artists like why are you guys so fucking hard on yourselves, man?
Because it has to be.
vibe.
It has to be good. It has to be.
Yeah.
You
But
have
it-
to hold
but
yourself
it
to a certain
was.
standard.
Here-
Well,
Yeah.
was it good enough?
Right.
I think-
I do respect that. I'm kind of just like poking fun at you guys a little bit because like for the amount of times I've seen you guys perform, like I still don't think you guys have hit that ceiling every show, whether it's like the next night or a week later or a month or two later. Like it's always at another level.
Well, like maybe it wouldn't keep progressing if we didn't have that steady.
Right?
Like, oh,
Yeah.
it wasn't good enough. Maybe we should.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think if you get complacent with like, oh, that was good enough.
Right.
Well, okay,
Then
if it's good enough, you're
then
never
that's
gonna
your
get
best
better.
show.
But if, like, there's a difference between being like insistent on like, oh, I played a shitty show, I'm a shitty musician, like like I should just throw the instrument away and never play again. Like that kind of thought process, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Throw that out. Saying, okay, I didn't play this right this time. I'm gonna make a mental note so that next night I make sure I play it right.
Right.
Or I'm gonna go practice it to make sure that I have it completely memorized. Like this is good to go.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think when it comes to like having that mentality, it's more so you're always going to be your worst critic, but it's because you know what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
It kind of comes back to, I remember seeing some drummers play, and the drummer, he was playing, and afterwards I went and talked to him, and he's like, oh yeah, like I messed this part up so bad, but I just kept playing and just like didn't want to show it. And I was like, I had no idea. Like you can't tell because they don't show that they messed up. They know they messed that up. They know they didn't hit the thing right or they didn't play what they were planning on it, but they just kept going.
Yeah.
But they didn't hint to that.
Like acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Like
You didn't see it.
Where
Yeah.
I've seen drummers where they sometimes mess up and they're like, ooh. And
Yeah.
you see that and you're
Yeah.
like,
And you're like, okay.
Well, that's
obviously
the-
they messed up. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where like you almost kind of have to like take note of it.
You gotta
but,
play
like,
through
don't
it.
show it.
Yeah.
You don't want to let them know that you fucked up because in their perception they're like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Same way like afterwards, if someone comes up and is like, that was so awesome. You
Well,
just be like, thanks, man.
well-
You can't be like, oh, actually, we fucked up this and this. And this.
That's
'Cause
right.
then you just take that away from them.
Yeah.
Just let them
Like
it.
yeah, like example, like with Kit, I was in the audience, and like as somebody who also does that to myself in our band,
Right.
like Kit does that to himself in his band, but I was in the audience for Kit's show, and it was fucking incredible.
Right.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
So I do understand, when people are come to the Hourhand shows and they're like, guys, that show was fucking sick. And I'm just like, like I do need to like handle myself better, when it comes to
You
that.
just need
But
to say, "Oh, thanks, man."
yeah, no,
And
I
then
do.
Later,
yeah.
you can say,
Yeah.
"That sucked."
Yeah,
Yeah, like I think the thing is when it comes to stuff
kind of like
that,
the show doesn't stop until you're
Yep.
at home.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing is that like if someone comes up to you and says, "Oh yeah, like you guys had a great show," and then you say something that's like, "Oh no, like I don't think it was very good. I screwed up or anything." You're essentially saying you're wrong. I actually
Yeah.
did
Yeah,
a
yeah.
good job.
And now their takeaway is that was a bad show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
you're
Yep.
saying no,
Yeah.
you're like what you perceived was actually wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I perceived it differently, or like you're saying like
And they could have
This
just
was
walked
all
away thinking it was
an
awesome.
illusion.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if you think you didn't do a great show and someone comes up and says like, "Oh yeah, that was a great show," say like, "Thank you, thanks for coming out.
Yep.
Like appreciate you coming out." Like,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's something I had to kind of deal with, too when we first started because we've played shows where we just come off and we're like, "Damn, that sucked," and then you never want to kind of say that to anyone else.
Not to say we're always like that though. There's
No,
sometimes
Yeah,
where
yeah,
we're like,
because I was just-
Dude, fucking the
sometimes
Regina
we
show.
crush it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
I was just thinking that
that's
too,
the
like,
and that's
say
the
all
thing
that?
is like when I was like,
Yeah.
fuck man, like when we're like, dude, you should have been at that show. You know, we knew like and. Okay. So here's something else to add to this whole idea here is there's a lot of times where we play very sloppy, but the show was amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like
we're,
it's
running
the
across
vibe,
the stage,
right?
And we're like
You
showing
too?
Off.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. These guys are running across the stage. I'm stationary, but I'm still moving. But yeah,
it's
we
also
might
like
just-
the show aspect.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
it's
For
not just
sure.
the music, it's
Yeah.
the entertainment aspect.
man,
It's like
yes.
the
Well,
theater aspect. Like
we've been talking about this for a while. Like when we go see a live show, we don't want it to be perfect.
exactly.
Because if we want it perfect, we'll buy the CD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
even the
like,
CDs.
I
are
want to
perfect.
see.
Well-
I want to see somebody mess up, but for the only reason is I want to see how they're going to recoup
recover.
from that.
Yeah.
How are they going to recover from that mess up? And if I didn't catch the mess up, then like good on you, man.
Yep.
That was a good show,
Yeah.
right? But if I can pick it up, it'll be like I know what happened on that song. Like I heard that, you know.
That's
I
why I keep going to the same show over and over and over, so you can pick up on the
Well,
mess-ups.
it definitely helps. Like that's one thing I love about going to so many shows for my friends and stuff is because
Yep.
I can better assess what's a good show and what isn't.
Yeah.
Like I'm not just like fucking blown away because I'm out for a night. It's like where like I said, where I haven't seen you guys hit your ceiling yet, and I legitimately mean that.
speaking-
You
Like,
must have seen better shows than others, and some were worse than others.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
100%, but they were still all great.
But speaking of like shows getting better, one thing I would say that really took our game up is playing with like with musicians like that are just so goddamn good.
Right.
Yep.
You know, like our headlining show at like in Regina, our show in Saskatoon, like playing with Sparrow Blue, 7 Mile Sun, with Small City Blues, like playing with bands that kick total ass.
Yeah, man.
Makes us bring it a little more.
Yeah,
You know, like
Yep.
Yep.
and it's just such a healthy thing. Like that it's that healthy competition where it's like, you know, these guys rocked our socks off. Let's kick their ass. You
There-
know, type
Yes.
thing. Like in a friendly way. You
Yeah.
know, like
So okay, so has it ever happened to you guys where like a band that you're sharing the stage with, whether they're playing before or after you, where it's like, holy fuck, like I gotta pull my socks up here?
I mean, like I feel like we've got shown up, and then
Oh,
we
yeah.
just go home and do our homework, and
Yeah.
that doesn't happen again. If you like, that's what we just
when
Right.
make sure that we kind of
that doesn't
Up our
happen
game.
again.
the
Yeah, yeah.
Wilderness kicked our ass.
Oh yeah.
Dude, the Wilderness is so good.
Aren't they great?
Like they were so like see, and that was a lesson. You know, like we learned. Like I'm gonna speak for myself here. I learned a lot from that show because there was like 2 out of town bands playing in a city that they like have never played in. You know, we played Saskatoon at Coors Event Center, so this big empty venue with these 2 bands, and our performance was, for me, it wasn't very good.
we're easily like influenced by
Yeah.
shit like that.
Oh yeah, like we got to have the crowd vibing with us, and
Right.
and if
you know,
they're
right.
not, it's hard.
they're well, like I mean, like when we played that Sparrow Blues show, like there wasn't a lot of people, but we were vibing and we were cooking. You know, like that was a
Yeah.
great show. So that's like the other end of it. But yeah, when we played that Wilderness show, like they went up there and played their goddamn hearts out for
Yeah.
the 10 people that were in the audience,
Yeah.
and it was such a good show.
Yeah. That's
Like,
where it comes.
They kicked our ass,
And that's
you know, in that competition.
Yeah, that's
Go
where
ahead.
it kind of comes to. We've done shows like that where, like, either there's not a lot of people or the people that are in the crowd, they don't know if they like you yet. So when you first start out, there's a little bit of apprehension of like, okay, do I like this band or not? Like they're kind of still evaluating. So I know we've actually kind of done our set a certain way. That's like, hey, we want to have a couple hard hitters before we kind of get into like the more like Hourhand-esque kind of stuff.
Yep.
Where like kind of is more complex or kind of goes off into a little bit of a journey. But we try to kind of get that.
We have like a moment in like the third song probably, usually, where it's like, okay, this is usually the moment where it wins over the crowd.
Where you either got them or you don't, kind
And
of
if
thing, right?
and if that moment doesn't hit, now it's just like, oh.
Because then then we start going into like the little stuff where it's like, okay, now that we have them, we're gonna hold them with this.
It works like 9 times out of 10, but sometimes it doesn't.
It's that 10th time. But
It's the 10th time that makes you a great band.
Yeah.
I was telling the night at the Coors event there a few weeks back. I was talking with Kim. We were just like talking about how great you guys were that night, and I have to tell you, one of my favorite things that you guys do, that you do specifically, Gray, on stage, you've got like this walk to you, like this stuff. Dude, it looks so gnarly. That's one of like visually, it looks so fucking cool, dude.
Do you have your own Les Claypool walk? I've never noticed this.
Like
I've
it's
seen photos.
See, like if I'm in my own head, I will walk less. But if I'm like, this is a crushing show, I'll go to the other side more often.
Yeah.
I'm not like purposely doing that.
But it's the way that you do it.
Yeah.
It's the motion of it. Like I couldn't even replicate it. But
His face is like in the zone, and then he does this.
it's like it's kind of like a stomp of some kind. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, he sees it. He sees it.
I'm the
so
only one
fucking-
that doesn't see it.
Oh, dude, I think it's so badass.
I'm the only one that doesn't see it then. Like I was like,
Because it's
which
probably usually when you're soloing or something.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's when you're walking over to me when he's soloing.
Yeah.
That's
no,
fucking
yeah. I
good.
think
Stomping
that's
with music.
I always
No,
look forward to
I
that.
feed off his energy for sure. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I think like when I see my buddies fucking really grooving, really into it, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So no matter what insecurities I'm having at this moment, these guys are pushing. You know, like taking
yeah.
over for me. You know, and then I can, get back into the zone.
Yeah, well, and I guess that's like Gray kind of mentioned this too. Like, and you almost get in your head, and you're like, oh, like maybe like is the crowd liking this or not? I find that the big hurdle that I have to overcome is if I don't have a good in-ear mix, I think, oh yeah, this is sounding terrible because I'm listening to my in-ear mix, but that's not what the crowd is listening to. They're hearing the front of house mix.
Yep.
So even if I'm hearing like, oh yeah, like bass is too high or guitar's too low or vocals are blaring or not high enough, and like it's not sounding right to me, I just kind of have to have confidence that, okay, this is a me issue. This is not an issue that's being brought out forward to the front of the crowd.
Yep.
So I've had a few shows where I have really bad mixes, and then I'm like, I just kind of have to get over that hurdle and like, okay, I know this isn't what the crowd has to hear or what the crowd is hearing, so I'm just gonna play like how I usually play, and more so feed off like the visual of how the crowd is grooving to it. If they're going and dancing to it, or if they're just like stiff as a board.
I had this conversation with Colin, actually, the sound guy at the Capitol.
Yeah.
And he was saying the same
Shout
thing.
out
Like,
to
Colin
the
Klassen.
best
Colin.
sound guy.
and
in
he was
the
saying the same
province.
thing. It's like, just leave it to the sound guy. If it sounds bad for you, doesn't mean it sounds bad on this end.
Yeah.
Just
Exactly.
do your thing. We'll fix it.
I had that very recently where it was like, like my monitor was just not a good. I'm not gonna tell you which show it was, but sound was terrible on stage.
Yeah.
But up front, people were like, "Your sound was so good."
Right.
I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, cool. That's good. That's all that matters."
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I know you guys aren't playing this song on your set anymore, but could I please have permission to play Speakeasy?
You have full control.
Sure.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. One of my favorites from the Hourhands, you guys. Here's Speakeasy.
I'm ready, sir.
There was the shortest version of that I've seen you guys play was when you played with Big Wreck in Moose Jaw.
Because that was a necessity because like we kind of had to put
Time
that in
restraints,
there.
right?
They were up there. They were so intense about that. They were like 45 minutes. God,
Yeah.
45 minutes. And then they put us on. We were supposed to, I don't know what time, maybe let's say 8. We were supposed to start right at 8. We had exactly 45 minutes, and they were stressing so hard. You cannot go over 45 minutes. And we had to like show them that we could do that. So we had exactly 45 minutes. They put us on like 3 minutes late.
So
So it's like we're going to be fucked here. So we went up there and we just like
We
slammed
rushed.
it out so fast.
Heck yeah.
And we finished right on the money, 45.
You like didn't you drop? You dropped like a whole verse there or something.
we
Oh, we
pretty sure
cut it.
did-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
did
because we cut
something-
the solo. We cut the solo,
Right.
and like we just go straight into the last chorus.
And that was all done
essentially.
on the fly too. So like
No, I think we.
I think we actually made a
you?
mistake
Yeah,
during the set, probably, that like resulted in a shortened song. Don't know which one it was.
That was evil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we accidentally cut evil short as well, which probably helped us in the long run.
Got us to the exact minute.
It was the universe. It was the universe lining up for us.
Nice.
We came off stage and the tour manager for Big Rack was like, "You're exactly at 45 minutes. Great job." And we were just like,
Beauty.
That was probably the most
Oh.
intense like pre-show I've ever been.
those 3 minutes where it's like okay, we were supposed to start at
We
some
were
time,
there
say 8
waiting.
o'clock. They're like, "Oh, people are still going to the chairs. Okay, we'll leave a little bit of time." We're like,
In our heads,
"What? We have 3. Like,
like
you have
you-
exactly 45. What do you mean?"
you're just stressing so hard. We need to be off 45. It's like we want to go now. We wanted to go early.
heck yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I remember it was like right before we were about to go on because there was a bit that we had where Cole had to like down a beer can. And I remember we
oh,
didn't have the beer can. So then Cole just like was like, "Oh shit," and then ran downstairs. And Gray was just like,
It's like you gotta be
What
doing
is
this
this guy
right
doing?
now. It's like we're gonna be going on stage in like 5
Oh,
seconds, and
yeah,
this
okay,
guy's
I
running
remember.
off.
"Go grab a beer."
I was like, "Give me a second."
I was just
Yeah.
like,
It was for the show, man.
It's like, this is not helping with my stress right
So
now.
do you down you down a drink pre-show every
no,
show?
No. It's for Hellbent.
at that moment, it was like that was a part in our
Yeah.
stage
Right.
show.
Yeah, we specifically had a part written in.
You
so
started
Cole
with
would,
shots,
like-
though, right?
would, like,
Yeah.
We used to
drink
do
a
that.
beer,
We used to do
put it in
shots
the
all
other hand,
together.
and be playing the guitar.
Yeah.
Right.
I kind of like doing that,
Yeah.
even though I don't drink at all. I didn't mind
Dude,
doing a
it
shot.
opens up your vocal cords. For me, it opens up my vocal cords. Like it's
Right.
something about it, you know.
I have a goofy question for you guys.
You all.
Does-
All of them are.
Do you guys ever smoke like marijuana? We partnered with Five Buds Cannabis. We're pretty fired up about it for Moose Fest
That's
this
awesome.
year. Yeah,
Yep.
fuck yeah, dude. So
And
they're
you're
actually
not having us.
the plan is year 5 to bring back like our favorites of the last 5 years.
What's this,
So
the third year?
this will
Third,
be
yeah.
this is third, yeah. So
Oh, Gray's all sad. Now I gotta wait 2 years.
there are other things, I promise. But there's this Moose Fest isn't all we got our fingers in.
Anyway, 5 buds. How do you get a discount?
So yeah, we partnered with them, which is freaking awesome. They've been very supportive. They actually approached us at last year's Moose Fest,
Oh, that's
which was
awesome.
dope. So I should credit you guys because you guys were performing there, and then
Hey,
it
Five
got us-
Buds sponsor Moose Fest 5.
Sponsor the Hourhand.
Sponsor the Hourhand.
Hourhand. There you go, Five
Give
Buds.
us our own rolling papers. or
But yeah,
something.
so for anybody who has a Moose Fest ticket, if they present their Moose Fest ticket at any of the Five Buds locations, they get 10% off of any purchase in the store. So there was that, and then what's even cooler, this is my favorite part of it. So last year we partnered with like Bellevue Daycare with the volunteer aspect of it so that we could have people running the merch, running the gate, running the bar, all that kind of stuff. And that was one of the agreements we had with these guys too. Dude, they're bringing in like 13 employees.
Yep.
I think so. It's going to be like the Five Buds people are going to be helping us run the gate, run the bar, run the freaking dude. It's going to be fucking awesome. So we've been making up some T-shirts with the Moose Fest and Five Bud logos on it. So the staff throughout the yard will have that. Dude, I'm pretty fired up about it.
Nice.
I would
Very
be
excited.
too.
Yeah, they're
That's
great
sick.
guys. You guys had a great. You guys had a magnificent set today.
thank you.
It was so fucking awesome to have you guys coming like in our neck of the woods as opposed to us going to Regina or anything like that. So that was exciting for us. Congratulations on the release of Setting Sun.
Go listen to it.
Frickin' rights, it's
Go
a
listen to it.
banger.
Where,
And
where can we find it?
You can find it on
on all
Spotify,
streaming platforms. So Spotify, Deezer,
Apple Music,
The works.
Google Play,
everything.
anywhere that
YouTube Music,
has YouTube.
Amazon, I think.
I think we had it on TikTok
Uh,
too. I don't know.
You have it on your website?
Yes, there should be a link to.
Hey, we
on
should
from our
talk about
website.
you helping us with the website or something.
On air or off air?
Oh, and thank you for this beautiful,
Of course.
beautiful
Custom made.
Custom made.
Custom made.
Did you make that?
Dude, this.
Oh, Dad made that?
I would freaking.
I put the sticker on it.
You put the, yeah, I was like, I thought it was gray the whole time.
Oh, I thought that. Oh no, you did the Christmas tree ornament.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's why I was like the
And you
audacity
do
of this guy.
the. You
to
also
sell
do
it.
the Halloween carvings. That's right.
That's what it is.
Heck yeah.
Oh, this
No,
is
I.
gonna be a bitch to edit.
Technically, you are the official custodian of the clock.
The custodian of the clock.
Oh, so it
does
was-
that
it
mean
wasn't a
that
gift.
I'm the like? Can I be Father Time?
And as long as you renew your
we have to call you
oath to the
Daddy
band every
Oh, dude, I will. Where do I sign?
Daddy time.
I
in perpetuity.
I will sign with blood.
So it's
on
like the
that.
Stanley Cup. Yeah.
Dude.
We gotta find another podcast and make.
Might have
Next
to
time we do
pass it
Funky
over.
Moose podcast, we'll have to have Steve with a mic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
you
was
should.
thinking about taking the clock. My buddies are starting this podcast called the Jazzy Deer.
Right. Oh, the deer. A moose would just slaughter a deer. No, you guys, we appreciate the shit out of
We
you guys.
appreciate the shit out of you
Like,
guys.
you guys are kick so much fucking ass.
And thanks for coming to Bellevue.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, man. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.